Hello, free readers, and welcome back to my bookshelf. Do you guys like that intro? Is it cute? Should I keep it? I think I'm gonna keep it. But seriously, welcome back. I am really excited about this video. Unless you've been living under a rock, you have probably heard the name of the TV show on Netflix called Bridgerton. It is a show that Netflix came out with back in December. I believe it came out on Christmas. And it is all about this family from the 1800s. Their last name is Bridgerton. But I'm not going to go into the show today. I want to talk about the books. Well before this TV show came out, there was a series of books that were launched, I think, in the early 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. There's 8 total books because there's 8 kids, so they have a book for each kid. And today we're going to talk about books 1 through 4. So that's going to be 4 of the 8 Bridgertons. I'm really excited. I wanted to break this up into 2 separate videos because I want to be able to give each book its own little blurb and spend a little time talking about what I thought of the book, what my favorite parts were of each book, and what my least favorite parts are. So if you want to see books 5 through 8, hold tight. I will have that one coming. But each book is going to be ranked 1 through 5. 1 to 5 dukes. Because the Duke of Hastings has stolen so many hearts over the last couple months. So we're going to start with the Duke of Hastings. And I love this book. This book gets 5 dukes in our 5 duke rating. I absolutely love this one. It's always going to have my heart because this is where it all started, and the Netflix series follows these 2 for the first season. So I actually watched the show before I knew there were any books. So I've watched the show probably 3 or 4 times now, and I've read the book, and I love them. I think they really nailed the, the courting that happened between Daphne Bridgerton, the eldest daughter of the Bridgerton family, and Simon, the Duke of Hastings. And if you have watched the show, you know that the Duke, let's just have a moment of silence for how gorgeous Simon is. Like, he is so good looking. It should be illegal, for real. The book follows Daphne and Simon. They meet at a ball. Daphne is trying to find herself a husband, and Simon is trying to do anything but find a wife. He has no interest in getting married, but he is friends with Daphne's brother, and they end up meeting at a ball, and they come up with this plan to trick everyone. They want to make it seem like they are courting, but really they are not. She doesn't want to marry him. He doesn't want to marry her. And they do this little dance and game to try to trick everyone. And the idea behind it is the Duke being interested in Daphne is going to make everybody else interested in Daphne because everybody wants someone they think they cannot have. And then the moms and the other daughters are going to leave the Duke alone because they will think that he already has romantic interest in Daphne. So it's kind of a win-win situation for both. But as you can imagine, Daphne and the Duke fall in love, and then I have on the thumbnail here that there's spoiler alerts, so here comes some spoilers. They end up getting caught in a compromising situation, which kind of forces the Duke to ask for Daphne's hand in marriage. And the rest of the book is basically after they got married and they're trying to navigate life as a married couple. But the Duke has some secrets. He doesn't ever want to have children, but he tells Daphne that he cannot have children. So she goes through this idea of thinking that he is incompetent when it comes to having kids, when really he just does not want to have them. But overall, the book is just well done. It's romantic. The steamy scenes are steamy. And they did a very good job on this book, and I love it so much. I will read it over and over again. Next up is The Viscount Who Loved Me. And this one, I'm only giving 4.5 Dukes. I do really like this story, but I think I just hold the Duke of Hastings on a pedestal, so anything other than that one is not gonna get 5 stars. But The Viscount Who Loved Me follows Anthony Bridgerton. He is the oldest son out of the Bridgerton family, and it follows Kate Sheffield. Kate Sheffield is a sister to one of the other girls that are looking for a husband. And her sister is the one who everyone sees as being like the diamond of the season. And Kate Sheffield is very protective of her sister. So she finds out that Anthony is looking for a wife. And Anthony starts showing interest in Kate Sheffield. But Anthony is what they call a rake. So he gets around a lot. He doesn't really look for marriage, and he causes a lot of trouble. And Kate does not want her sister marrying Anthony, so she basically does everything in her power to keep Anthony away from her sister. Well, Anthony also does not want to marry anyone for love. He has this belief that he is going to die young because his father had died young. So he is like, I just want to marry someone who's beautiful, who can have my kids, spread my seed, and I'm going to die, and we're not going to love each other, and that is that. But with Kate kind of cock-blocking Anthony, they obviously start getting some feelings for each other. He starts realizing just how beautiful Kate is, and one day they're in the garden, and a bee lands on Kate's chest. And Anthony, being afraid of bees because a bee is what killed his father, he kind of goes crazy to get the bee away from her, and the bee ends up stinging her. They're trying to get the venom out of her, and he panics. He literally has like this crazy panic attack, and he starts like sucking on her chest to get the bee out. And of course, people that you don't want to catch you in a compromising situation caught them, and so he was forced to take her hand in marriage. So the rest of the book is him trying not to fall in love with her, but he ends up falling in love with her, of course. And it's just him coming to the realization about like how much he loves Kate. And I really do love this story. It was really well done. It kept me turning the pages as quickly as I could. I couldn't get enough of it. The only thing that I thought was weird was the bee scene. That one was, I don't know, it was just a little weird. And I was kind of disappointed that they did the same thing they did in the first book, where they were basically forced to be married. Okay, the third book is An Offer from a Gentleman. And this one, I have notes down here if you guys were wondering. This one is about Benedict Bridgerton and Sophie Benedict. And this one gets 5 Dukes, my friends. I love this one. This one was so much fun for me. In the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to like this at all because it's loosely inspired by Cinderella. And in the very first, I believe, first 2 chapters, it's very Cinderella. Like, you're kind of thrown off. You're like, man. But the whole book is not like that. But I love it so much because Sophie is, I believe she's a bastard to an earl, I believe. And she has this evil stepmother who has these evil stepdaughters, except for one. There's one of the daughters that's really sweet. And her dad ends up dying, and she's left under control under the evil stepmother. And the stepmother basically turns her into a maid in the house and treats her like crap, just like in Cinderella. Well, Sophie the maids feel sorry for Sophie, and they end up getting her dressed up to go to this ball, and she goes to the ball, and this is all within the first 2 chapters. She goes to this ball, and she meets Benedict, and he immediately falls in love with her, like, love at first sight. And she has to leave before midnight. She takes off, and she goes back to being a maid. And then after that, she ends up running into Benedict again somehow. She's at this mansion that she's a new maid for, and he actually tries to attack her, and Benedict comes in and saves the day. And it's just this awesome story. He immediately is just wanting to protect her, and he gets her a job at his mom's house. And it's just this awesome back and forth of them, like, almost figuring out who each other is, because she doesn't tell him that she has met him before at a ball. And it's just a really fun book. Obviously, eventually it comes out that she was the girl from the ball, and he falls in love with her, and they end up getting married. But of course, it's always a little weird, because how can someone like Benedict marry a maid, and then it comes out that she's a bastard, so he's marrying a bastard, and it just doesn't look good to society. But he doesn't really care, because he loves her so much. And it's just so cute, because I love how she was a maid, and she was a bastard, and she wasn't destined for this beautiful, glamorous life, and she gets it. And it's your classic from rags to riches story, and I absolutely loved it. That's why I gave it 5 Dukes. Probably one of my favorites from the series. Next, the last one I'm going to talk about today is called Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. This one is probably one that everyone is going to be so excited to read and to watch in the Netflix series when it gets to it. This is Colin Bridgerton and Penelope Featherington. And I was really excited for this one. I was so excited. This was Penelope's story, and I was just so excited. But I'm only giving it 3.5 Dukes. I just was not into this one, which really made me sad, because it's Penelope. But if you've seen the show, Penelope is in love with Colin Bridgerton at a very young age, and she is in love with him all the way to, I think she's 28 or 29 by the time they get to her book. And if you guys saw the show, here's another spoiler. She, at the very end of the Netflix series, they basically tell you that she is Lady Whistledown. And so this book, I was excited to kind of see the behind the scenes of Lady Whistledown, but unfortunately they don't really get into that much, other than the fact that Colin finds out she's Lady Whistledown, and then he's just angry all the time because she's been lying to everybody. And he's also upset that she's Whistledown because he's worried about her safety, and she's worried about society turning on her when they find out. But anyways, Colin Bridgerton does not see Penelope. He's never into her. He just sees her as this friend. She's definitely in the friend zone. And it takes him a long time to realize he actually is in love with her. So it's not like they were caught in a compromising situation, but they definitely were very into each other. And there was a carriage ride that turned into a little bit of a steamy situation. And after that happened, Colin was like, well, yeah, now we're going to get married. Of course. Look what we just did in this carriage ride. So we're gonna get married. And that's basically the story, other than in this book, Penelope decides that Penelope and Colin decide that they're going to announce that she is Lady Whistledown because someone else in the story is threatening to out her. And they wanted to basically be the first person to tell society that she's Whistledown. And the other disappointing thing in this book is she decided to retire after everybody found out she was Whistledown. And I'm really sad about that because like, the first season of the show, she is such a big part of the show. And so I'm like, okay, by season 4, there's going to be no more Lady Whistledown. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So because the show is so different to the books, I'm really curious to see if they follow that storyline exactly. I don't see them getting rid of Whistledown, but I don't know. In the book, Whistledown is gone after book 4, and it makes me really sad. So, unfortunately, Penelope Featherington and Colin Bridgerton, their story was my least favorite out of the first 4 books. That is my review of the first 4 books. I hope my rambling was understandable. But if you have any questions at all on these books, please let me know. I will have video number 2 where I cover 5 through 8 up shortly. I actually still have to read 7 and 8, but these books are really easy reads. I read one of these in 2 nights. So I'll have that up for you guys very shortly. I hope you guys are excited about the Bridgerton series as I am. Let me know what you think of the books. Let me know what you think of the TV show. Comment your favorite book down below. Let's talk everything Bridgerton, because I cannot get enough of the books or the TV show. But thank you guys for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And I hope you guys come back for more videos in the future. Bye, guys.